just to remember to breathe on.
Well, I was really fortunate to be part of the design team on season 1 as an assistant costume designer. I wanted to develop what Ellen had created and really looking at the characters. You know, we'd had this foundation from them and I wanted to really kind of push the individualism of each person. So looking at how their stories were being told in season 2, you know, finding out that the Sharma family were from Indian descent and they were travelling from India. It was just an amazing concept.
Is that Lady Mary Sheffield Sharma? I can't believe she would show her face here again.
Scandal, Mama.
Having travelled India myself, it was really nice to take those experiences of visiting fabric warehouses and factories and seeing those dye vats for myself and then bringing them into Kate's colour palette. Kate's such a strong character. I wanted her to own those colours. So she's a lot darker when we see her in episode 1. And then bringing her into kind of the softer colour palettes. I worked both with colour and fabric choices to really go on a journey with Kate.
He might make a particularly estimable addition to your dance card this evening, Miss Sharma.
The only match I am interested in is for my sister.
So with her sister Edwina, she's on a journey of love and I wanted to use the element of pink because, you know, that is the colour of love. So she has this arc of pink as well that we see in her colour palette.
I truly believe something will come of this.
You know, the races in England is such an event. So I really wanted to push forward having the hats, which we hadn't really used, and definitely not bringing in the bonnet. It wasn't about the bonnet. It wasn't being period correct. It was just having some fun with the races and being able to push those boundaries.
Which one is your pick, my lord? Edwina.
Nectar. Well-bred, highly trained, and well-favoured.
So with the jewellery, using a concept of having the metal plating for each family. So the Bridgertons always wear silver jewellery. We've got the Featheringtons in their gold, their brasher, you know, they want the biggest and the brightest. And then with the Sharmas, I've used gold and rose gold as well, mainly for their characters. It all works with skin tones as well. So Anthony and his white shirt. So that is not the white shirt that he wears for the whole show because those shirts were made just for that scene so we could get the shirt as see-through as possible. His shirts are usually a heavier weight fabric. So yeah, we went with the lighter weight so we could just, as soon as it was wet. And we actually had a fitting with Johnny and we were like spraying him with water and he was just like, no, just give it to me. And we just absolutely soaked him in the fitting room. And then I recorded it and then like sent it to Chris to say, this is how sheer we're gonna go. So yeah, it was fun.
Are you hurt?
Come now, it is not proper to stare.
So this is Kate's dress for the wedding. This is her bridesmaid's dress. It's a satin underneath and then it's got a tulle overlay with the embellishment actually came from another fabric. It was an Indian fabric that we found, and then taking this embellishment and running it down the side seam. I wanted to give the influence of a sari. So traditionally in Regency fashion, you'd have a centre opening running down the front, but just shifting that slightly gives you the influence of the Indian sari. So that was kind of where I got that concept from. And also with every costume, there's always the, you know, the accessories and the jewellery being made to work with Kate's dress, and also taking the colour palette that we have within the dress and also taking the hair pieces as well, along with dyeing gloves to match the same colour of the dress and embellishing as well, using the same beadwork. So it all just works as a whole piece. And then alongside Kate, we have Anthony's wedding costume. There was going to be so much colour and work with the women's costume that I wanted to get this really kind of clean line in monochrome colours. So this is Penelope Feathering's diamond ball dress. The concept behind the diamond ball was silver and golds. I really wanted that contrast between characters. So as much as they were all in gold, having them with the stars, the brashness, the kind of more developed kind of concept. Not only is Penelope in the ballroom, there's a moment, a scene with her and Eloise lying in the fields of the sunflowers. So having all these sparkles in the night sky as well kind of brought that concept together. And then it also did have Swarovskis on it, but that is something that we always add. So there's always someone gluing Swarovskis at Bridgerton. So these are the famous hunting costumes for Kate and Anthony. The hunt was really important to me. It was such a scene of bringing Kate into this men's world, and also having a scene with all the men was so unusual for Bridgerton. You know, there's always the balls and everything, and as much as the men are there, it was really nice to be able to kind of push their costumes into a new world. Using the same concept as hunting, all the men were in the same trousers, they had the same stocks, so it was kind of, they were on this, you know, it kind of amalgamation of period correct and then contemporary elements.
My honour is hanging by a thread that grows more precarious with every moment in your presence.